Hey, this is Reverend Al. Have you ever gone out in the garage, sat on your bike, go to leave, and you hit that ignition switch and click, 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 and you look down and wonder, what the heck is all that? It could be anything. It could be anything with this pile of wires that they stick in there. It could be your coil. It could be your ignition module. It could be any kind like that. But the truth is, it all has to do with the battery. That's where the source is. So I'm asking you today, are you connected to the source? You know, you have to check the starter, make sure the starter's okay, but you got to make sure everything's plugged in right. Make sure you got full voltage in that battery. Make sure your source is where you're connected to. You can go out there some days and you have click, 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 and you check everything. Every wire looks good, but you look at it and you're not grounded. And that's the whole thing, is being grounded. You could have everything just right. You could have 12 volts. Everything could be hooked up just right, but if you're not grounded, you're not going to go nowhere. Well, you can kind of see where I'm going at with this. You know, have you ever gone out in a morning, sat on the couch and said a prayer to God, and all you hear is click, click, click? Well, the thing about it is, it could be any of these things. It could be distraction from normal day lives. It could be unforgiveness in your life. It could be an anger you're dealing with. It could be a prejudice. It could be something in your life you're dealing with. And what happens is, you're trying to get to the source. And what happens is, you get connected to the source, and that source is Jesus. And what you got to do is, you got to hook up. You got to make sure everything's right in your life. You got to get your unforgiveness right. You got to make sure your source is just right. You could be all hooked up. You could ask God for a prayer one morning, and you just don't feel like you're connected to Him, and everything looks good. You're trying, but you're just not grounded. And what that means is spend it in the morning praying to God. Spend a little time reading His book. He left a diary behind. It's called the Bible, and we get grounded with that. And if everything's just right, we get up in the morning. We say, "Dad, I need some help," and everything's just right in our life. You get to the source. And the rest of the day is more tolerable. Everything's not perfect, but you can deal with a lot easier if you're connected to God. This is Reverend Al coming to you from his garage.